Everybody got their own thing, currency chasing. Worldwide through the hard times, worrying faces. Shed tears as we bury brothers close to heart.
Hello, hello, hello. God bless you, community family, and welcome to Gang Talk with Sister Herron. We have a sitting co-host tonight, Terrence Shepard, that we're so happy that he's joined us. And, Terrence, just to give a little backstory, Terrence has brought some of the best guests to this show over the last year, and we have, thanks to him, met some outstanding members of our communities that people don't get a chance to hear from very often. So, Terrence, thank you very much for who you are and the support you have given to us and the work you do in our community and for our community.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you. So, as it is our practice to thank our guests from last week, I just want to thank Dr. Earl Afari Hutchinson for coming in as kind of a surprise. In that I asked him, and he agreed to do it. Not only agreed to do it, but agreed to do it right at the moment. So we had that chance to go over our history of how we met, the work we did together, how Skipp became a part of it, and some big things that we did that none of us expected anything from except to wake our community up and see that we had an urgent need to help ourselves. So I'm still honored by that work and happy that I had a chance to be a part of that work because we did it because our people mean a great deal to us. Okay, and so I just appreciated spending that hour with him. And what was so funny, it went by so fast it surprised him too. And if you listen to the show, and I'm going to post it, but if you listen to the show or follow Dr. Hutchinson, he's a very prolific talker. And when I say prolific, he's never at a loss for words. So he can speak on a snap of the finger. And so we respect that about him and give him credit for stepping out of his zone to work with us, because his usual person is to be a political analyst, and that's what he does best. But we dragged him out into the street violence to help us spread a message that we needed to do something to help ourselves. So we just want to thank Dr. Hutchinson for coming in last week and having that reminiscence with Skipp and the things that we did, including meeting Chief Bratton the first time that he came down to the community to speak to us, and the fact that at that time, we had to drag members of Ceasefire to meet with law enforcement, and Skipp was the only one that took the challenge. So he got a lot of pushback about that, but it still was the right thing to do. As I said, if they were going to bring a new police chief to L.A., we needed to be able to have a face-to-face with him and not just get information secondhand. So we pushed into that meeting. I drug Skipp into it. And we confronted him with the questions we needed answered, and he didn't hesitate. And the amazing thing is that when we left that meeting, the three of us were smiling.
Right.
The three of us, Chief Bratton, Skipp, and me. And so it was a good beginning. So we just want to thank Dr. Hutchinson for sharing those memories with us last week. And tonight we have Terrence is our co-host, and we're so excited because he always brings the best. And so, welcome, Terrence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you again for the invitation, and I'm very grateful to have a first-time experience of being a co-host on something. But first and foremost, I always got to give thanks and appreciation to God for another daily reprieve. Waking me up and allowing me to have experience to do something that'll better the quality, not only for my life, but the life of others. And thank my sisters, the queens, who came along with me and, here to represent. So I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves first.
All right.
Hello. I'm Nakia Brown. I'm a CEO and founder of an organization called Rebuild Your Life. And what we do is create an inner inspiration to outer motivation with individuals, and with corporations and organizations, we replenish where there's a void. And I'm happy that I, got the chance to come on the show today in the title with gang intervention, because that's a void in our community in LA. Also recently been elected got to get my notes out.
That's all right.
Being,
It's
elected as
not the notes not going to help us in this conversation.
Right. No. I just wanted to put a little, a few points out there about me sitting on the Land Trust, a board of directors. I recently got elected. Okay. Also a community leader in districts 8, 9, and 10. Oh, wow. Also volunteering in districts 1 through 7. So just doing that, and also speaking next month at Juneteenth Festival in Compton. So when you said Watts, I was like, okay, I ain't got to take too much shine from my city, LA. So we're just doing a lot in the community and giving back and giving people a change within their mindset to understand that, we're limitless, we're free. And that's why I was excited to be a part of Juneteenth, because it changes people's mindset to understand, hey, we free. So why would you guys sit here and allow yourselves to be...
You're getting into the conversation. We're still at introductions. Okay, so let's not move ahead before we've introduced everybody on the panel. So thank you so much for that. And introduce yourself. Well, Terrence really was supposed to introduce all three of you, but he left it to you to do that. So
okay. Well, I'm Aishah Neal.
Speaking in the mic.
Aishah Neal.
Aishah.
I am the owner and CEO of Pink Rose Petals Full Spa. And before that, I was from Rolling 40s.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I will give you the in between, before, after.
All right, when we get into that talk. And you, pretty name.
Right, and I'm Angelique Molina. I'm a community activist in the Leimert Park area and also a motivational speaker.
Yes, you are. And this is your first time in front of the camera, because you've been to the show every time he's been here, you've been here. And this time we finally got you to be on the panel.
Yes,
so
thank you.
And introduce our littlest.
And that's our little miracle child over there. That's Miracle.
Move your mic. Terrence, move your mic so we can see your face.
There you go. Go ahead, Miracle.
There she is.
Don't get camera shy.
Hi, Miracle. Well, that's all right. She's on camera. She's been on camera before.
Right.
In a minute, she's going to be taking my seat. So it's all right.
Right.
Yeah. So once again, this is an hour dedicated to the nightmares that we have suffered. And not a day goes by that we're not concerned about the condition of our community and our young people. And I really had hoped to talk to you ladies about the women's issues tonight, the fractures in the sisterhood that pits us against each other, that the loyalty to the men that are in the midst of the destruction that keeps us divided as not only the women of the community, but the mothers of the community as well. Right. So that was a conversation I was looking forward to having with you, and bless your heart, you admitted your background. Right. And it's all right. It's all right, because we all have a history. We all have a history, and it crosses every community.
Yes.
Yes, every community. So who wants to, you want to speak first?
Well, I would want them to allow them to speak, because what I would like for them to speak on is not into deep details, but where they came from, the struggles of life of where they came from, even as a childhood, and what got them to where they're at today. Yes. The experiences, what they had to go through, what they learned to be an inspiration for somebody out there that may be blind and lost and not know where to go. It not will only help women out, but it'll probably help a man out, the man too as well.
And I would agree with that. But before we can help the men, we ladies have to help ourselves, okay? And it's really about the children and the lives that we bring into our village and how we train them not to hate you. Right. See, that's the most important thing in the women's issue, I think, is critical right now. Right now, we have to address our fellowship amongst each other. So let me be quiet and let you ladies pick up anywhere you'd like to.
Who would like to start?
Angelique, go ahead.
I'll start briefly. I grew up in a good home. Although Dad was not in the home, I had a grandmother who took that place of Dad. But as a little girl, there were issues concerning my skin tone, how I looked. And in school, that boggled my mind because I wasn't taught to look at color. I'm taught to look at the character of a person and their heart. And so when you're with friends from kindergarten to 8th grade and then they begin to question what you look like and why you look that way, it started to have me question my outer beauty, right? And so I began a life of self-destruction. And it wasn't in the gangbanging aspect, but I behaved like a savage out there. Whether it was arguments or fights or things that I brought over into the neighborhood, I was a part of tearing down the neighborhood. And so it is my duty to come and give back and teach the young ladies and the young men, because that's where it starts, from home, on self-love. Because if I don't love me, how can I love my sister? Or how can I love him if I don't love myself?
That's true.
And so I'm just honored to be here to plant a seed. Like Terrence said, there may be somebody that's in a hopeless state of mind right now. And you had mentioned the mindset. The mindset of us all has to be changed in order for there to be some growth.
That's it.
And I don't want to hog the mic, so
You're
I'm
not
pass
hogging
it
the
down.
mic. You're expressing your opinion. You're telling the world how you feel about this.
Yes.
That's the most important message we're here to share, is that we care about each other. And that's what's been missing in us, that love for our neighbor. I don't care what color you are.
That's right.
And we don't even realize as a people that we come in every color under the sun.
Yes.
That's right.
And we don't praise that. We don't thank God that we're every color under the sun, and we hold that against each other.
Right.
When, dark chocolate is our original color. And I tell people in a minute that my heritage is a product of rape.
Yeah.
See, so why can't I be forgiven for that? Because my forefathers had no control over that. And so we came out different colors because of that history and that heritage. And in there's a connectedness. We're still connected to the plantation because of that. And so in 2017, color is not our issue. It should not be an issue.
Exactly.
It should not. And so I appreciate you for bringing that up, but that's part of the sisterhood.
Yes.
That's right.
Mending and blending we need to have. You want to go next?
Okay, so I'll give you guys a little. I would like to also first speak on how do you say it? Breaking the cycle.
Right.
That's right.
My father went to jail, I believe, when I was 1 year old. So I don't even know what he looks like. I was told over and over again, like, he's going to be home by the time, like, you're 18, he's going to be home, he's going to be home soon, he's going to be home soon. I'm 31 now, and he's still not here. My mother was a good mother. She tried, but maybe sometime, like, there's not enough resources. There's not enough knowledge. There's not enough, it's just not enough. I'm not sure. She was missing a couple of things, and maybe it was love, because like she mentioned, if we're not loving ourselves, we can't love our child. We can't love our friends. We can't love anyone if we're not loving ourselves. So I believe my mother, she loved me and she tried, but it was a lot of men that she chose that just weren't right for her.
Looking
and
for love in all the wrong
in the
places.
wrong places.
Okay.
Right. And so now me and my mother we're working on our relationship. We're working on getting stronger and things like that. But from that happening, and it got really, really hectic with the guys in the home. That's when I came to South Central Los Angeles with my grandmother. My grandmother had custody of 2 other children as well. Her brother and the mother and the father, both on drugs. So she took their 2 kids.
Yes.
Then I came in.
Yes.
Then she had a daycare. So it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yes.
My grandmother, though, she didn't have all the resources. So to try to keep me protected, she would try to keep me in the gate.
Yes.
That didn't work.
Tie
though.
you up, lock you in a closet, handcuff you
and
to
she's
something
like,
you can't
you're
get
not
away.
going to the mall. It's boys out there, and
Yes.
those the boys are who I'm scared of. And I'm like, and at the time I didn't get it, so of course that caused me to rebel.
Yes.
Now that I have my own son, though, my son is 5 years old. Right now, he's in baseball. Right before that, he was in basketball. If I don't want you to go out there and do that, then maybe I can substitute it with something else. Yes. But if you're not substituting it, you don't really have anywhere else to turn.
Right. What you're saying is that you learned, you understand why your grandmother was so fierce at trying to keep you contained.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
I do.
Same here, yes.
In all fairness, teenagers always want to get away. We always want to get away. We want to be grown at 18, not realizing, well, at 18, now you're going to have to pay rent and feed yourself.
Right.
And it's like, but I'm so anxious to be 18. Right. But I'm not ready for the responsibility.
Right.
I'm not ready for that. And so it's a learning curve for all of us.
Right.
And in fairness to your mom and your father, we've been in a nightmare for decades. This is not new news for our community.
Right.
So, in fairness to your background, we have thousands that duplicate your story. That's why it's important for you to share it with us, so someone else that's out here that's experienced the same thing can see.
Excuse me, Miss
Go
Sister
ahead.
Herron. The other guest is here. She just arrived, and she's in the back, I believe.
Okay, well, we have to get a chair, and I don't want to interrupt the flow of our first statements.
Just my life period growing up in LA. Well, it started off, my foundation was different. My dad was there, and a lot of people are afraid to touch on subjects like abuse, domestic violence, and my dad was also a gang member from the East Side. He was a blood, but we lived in the Crips. So I was like, now, hold on, how's my life going to end up? You know, it was a scary situation because where I grew up at, my friends that I played baseball with and basketball, they end up being from rival enemy gangs. So they try to put an obligation on me, find out this and find out. I said, I ain't finding out nothing. Yeah. And then they try to put you in a situation to where it seemed as if to society you're obligated. You're obligated to be involved. You're obligated to shoot a gun. You're obligated.
A social pressure.
So exactly. So I had to make a decision within myself to say, you know what, I don't want to get put on nobody's hood. I don't want to kill nobody. I don't want to do this. So my mother sent me away. My mother sent me away to San Bernardino, Riverside, and basically it was a nightmare. Because I was content around being around my friends, no matter what their lifestyle was. So I go in no man's land. That's how I felt, where nobody understood my story. I'm fighting for my life from my own friends. And I didn't understand. So my mom moved on the West Side. It was just as worse.
Yes.
Because over here, prostitution is big.
Oh.
Yes.
So I had a lot of friends and, that were involved in prostitution.
Yes.
So I'm like, wait a minute, this just don't make no sense.
Yeah.
You're forced to deal with a situation. You're trying to build confidence within your friend, and they don't want to hear nothing you got to say. So then you're the party pooper, So many friends I know that's been standing on Western for years, even at the age now. And it's sad to see your sister or your brother pimping your sister.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So it's
yes.
like, and when I say brother, I mean brother and, as far as a community, no matter what ethnicity you are.
Yeah.
Because like you said, all of our foundation was black. And a lot of people, they don't understand. They understand my cry, but they don't understand my mission.
No.
I do PR for a lot of different artists and a lot of just involving and doing motivational speaking with a lot of different gangbangers from the hundreds to the 30s. But it don't change the mentality. Like I was talking about earlier, I almost went off in a tangent, but gentrification is real.
Oh, yeah.
We
but
don't own nothing in Lamert.
We can't even get to gentrification because that's even further dividing us as a people.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
And it's a new issue that's pushing us further and further away from what we're familiar with.
That's right.
And it's sliding in a very low key, subtle, but overpowering. overpowering that we can't notice. I mean, we can't avoid seeing it.
That's right.
And just to share, I have new neighbors too now.
Right.
I got new neighbors, and it's like, wow, are you sure you? And to be fair to them, I saw last week a little ginger child walking home from school by himself.
Wow.
In a neighborhood you would never see a ginger child in. And I just started praying for him. Just right there when I saw him, I felt the need to pray for him because he's out of his element. He's in my element. He's by himself. That means he hasn't made any friends at school yet.
Right.
Is he going to? You see, so as we say they're a challenge for us, it's a challenge for their children too.
That's right.
To relocate them, same as you were relocated from what you were familiar, sent up to the hills of San Bernardino.
Right.
That's like being in another state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was because I didn't know nobody. I was like that kid that you saw walking down the street.
Yes.
I said, Mom, I'm not staying out here. She said, yes, you are.
Yes.
Or me and your daddy's going to whoop your butt. And then my father went to prison.
Yeah.
Like what so I resonated with that, you know. And I'm like, man, I come back home, you know, I'm forced to get involved with my friends and they festivities of the game banging. I never got put on, but I hung around them, so I was labeled.
Well, you know, that's the way it worked.
Right.
That's the way it worked. My kids didn't get jumped in, but all of their friends.
Right.
Our whole
Family.
neighborhood was taken over. Our whole neighborhood, and every child that our middle child grew up with got taken over. Every one of them, and they went to prison. Some of them are still drug addicted.
Yep.
You know, and thanks to Terrence, we're in that rebuilding.
That's right.
Where we're recognizing that, yeah, we've been through a nightmare. What can we do to change it for ourselves?
Yeah.
Right.
So I won't focus on us, not gentrification.
Right.
Okay, because it's a talk we need to have.
Within ourselves.
Yes, and it really starts with the women because we're the first teachers in the home. Come on,
That's
girls.
right.
Come on now.
That's right.
You're her first teacher, aren't you?
Yes.
Are you going to teach her to grow up and hate me?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you going to teach her to grow up and hate him?
No, I'm going to teach her to love her. That way she can love him and love you.
There it is.
right.
There it is.
Yes.
And that's what I heard. That's what I heard from each and every one of them. Because the statement was made, I believe it was from Aishah, when she said her mother was looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yes.
And that's what I hear. Everybody looking outside of themselves in the beginning stages of as they were developing and growing. And they were looking outside of themselves to either fit in, be a part of, to be loved, without looking inside first. So what made you look inside to
That's
become
right.
where you at now?
I'm going through a divorce.
Okay.
Oh,
Going through a divorce, and that's another topic.
Yeah, that
like
is,
Queen say right here, but just
well,
going
you
through
know,
a
the
divorce
beauty
is
about it,
understanding.
at least you got married.
Right.
Okay,
right.
so-
a lot of women don't get
But,
married. you know?
and that's the beauty because a caterpillar goes through a whole lot before
Right.
it becomes a butterfly.
Right.
So we have
That's
to go
right.
through some darkness before we're able to evolve
That's right.
and grow.
Yes.
And that's what I'm hearing. Even though it was a divorce, it looked like a terrible situation, but it allowed you to become who you are today.
That's right. And I pressed that issue with my daughters. I have 3 daughters.
3.
9 tomorrow. No, 8. I'm sorry. Look, I'm tired. 8 tomorrow, 9, and 2. She'll be 3 in August. And I tell them, I said, first thing I implement to you. Yeah, the Bible says spare the rod, spoil the child, but you wouldn't make a lot of the decisions you make as being trying to become a part of a group of being a disobedient child. If you love yourself wholeheartedly, I implement that, enforce that into my daughters, self-love. You got to, because you won't make a lot of decisions. Her friends are outside playing high-go, whatever. And my daughter's 7. I was like, I played hide-go-seek at 11. Like, you guys are doing this at 7 years old? Little girl was smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, wow, my daughter came and told me. She said, Mom, I don't want to get in trouble for even just looking at it. So I came to tell you because you told me to love myself. And she went and got her dad cigarette, and she's just trying to be a part of what's going on around us. And this is my 7-year-old that talks like this.
You know, in fairness to your 7-year-old, they're exposed to a whole lot more than you were at 7.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and all of you have been exposed to a whole lot more than I was
That's
at
right.
7.
Right.
I
That's
mean,
right.
compared to your childhood, mine was easy,
Yeah.
and it wasn't easy because I'm still a black child in a white world.
That's
Okay,
right.
and they never let me forget that I was a black child living in the white world. So, you know, we've had our share of natural obstacles.
That's
natural obstacles. They're not natural. They're abnormal.
That's right.
But obstacles placed on us because of our color.
Yes.
Okay, and the division in the color conscious is straight out of the Willie Lynch book.
Yep.
Okay.
I had to write them down.
Okay, and colored folks that don't know about Willie Lynch really need to get on Google and educate themselves about that, because all of our division is based in that psychology that
That's right.
one of you is less than me, so it's okay for me to kill you because you don't amount to nothing. You ain't worth nothing.
Right.
And we put that label across our community.
Yeah.
You know, that brother's worthless. It's okay for me to kill him.
Right. I
Okay.
asked a lot of my friends, I said, this your hood? Do you own a house in this neighborhood? And then they probably sold their grandparents' house.
Yeah.
Because of not being educated on, you know, the neighborhood. Oh, this is my hood. I said, y'all been saying that for years, but do you own
Don't
a
own
piece of
anything.
land in your hood? You know, and I try to implement that.
Well, you know, the sad truth, we can't have these conversations without talking about the virus that infected
Yes.
us, okay?
Yes.
And it not just infected us physically, it infected us financially. It set up a false front in that men were making so much money. Well, I'm going to buy my mama home. And they did. And that's when the forfeiture law took place.
That's right.
We're going to take your mama's home from you and put you in jail for the money you used to buy her that home. See, so we ended up on the treadmill. Our moms ended up homeless anyway. How did we help them? We didn't.
Right.
It ended up hurting us. And we have to recognize that that was a curse against a generation that we're still paying for.
Yep.
See, and we have to apologize. My generation has to apologize to this current generation because we were so ignorant and naive, we didn't realize that we let the snake in the house.
That's right. That's right. You read about that.
Yeah, see, you know it's a
100%.
snake.
Right.
You going to keep him outside, keep him in a
Right.
cage, send him somewhere else, but you ain't going to open the door and let him in.
Right.
We didn't see that snake. We didn't see it.
through the back door.
Okay, he slipped in so
Right.
slick. By the time we recognized it, so many had paid the price already.
That's right.
Okay, and the sad truth is that we're still paying the price in a way, but not as hard as it was before.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and I thank men like Terrence and women like you for being woke,
Right now.
paying
Well,
attention.
it is the women right now who's being honored and getting the credit. Thank God, because you mentioned something. We had another guest on here a while back that was with us. If you remember, her name Laylo, right?
Is that the 14-year-old?
No, Laylo's not 14.
Oh,
She
no,
was-
when she was 14.
Yeah, when she was 14, and since then, since she appeared on the show, she done went to school. She done opened up a restaurant now, a hamburger stand,
Yes.
and everything. So she's making achievement, just like Aishah here. You know, that's why I was sharing, asking, what did they go through? She went through the divorce, and what did she go through to make the change? Because I'm the one that still has to say clear that I understand that we had the gangs, right? And it's the ideal, some of the ideals that was implanted are of destruction. However, it's really hard to take a person away from that element, right? Especially if you don't have nothing else for them to do.
That's
and no
it
other
right there.
ideals to get them.
Yeah.
And then when you got dealing with a hard mind, it's hard to implant some positive and productive and constructive ideals.
Right.
However, if you have somebody that's still saying, this is where I represent, but this is how I represent it now. In a community fashion, not in a destructive fashion.
Right.
Like she said, she went through some things, she still represented it, but she's doing something else in her lifestyle now.
Yeah.
That's share on that. Elaborate on that if you can.
Actually, right now I feel like I'm at a good place. My son is 5 years old. I'm married. I have a beautiful wife. She really helped me grow. I helped her grow, and she helped me grow. She's from the same neighborhood as well. And
You have a phone call? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
is it my phone?
No, she's talking about
Okay. And so, actually, she's from the same neighborhood as well, you know? And it's like, when we were younger, all the just getting in trouble, going to jail. It wasn't even.
was no big deal?
Me and her were selling crack cocaine downtown.
Right.
She went to jail right in front of me.
Right.
I cried. It wasn't nothing I could do about it, but it was something natural for us,
Yes.
normal for us. Going
Yes.
to jail back to back, I started getting used to it.
Right.
Yes.
I would call my aunties and they like, okay, well, I put money on your phone. I put money on my phone for you because I know you're about to just sit down for a little while.
Wow.
I got addicted to to drugs to where
Yes.
I'm even doing drugs in jail. It was that bad, you know, and it was like then it was just all around drugs, gang, stripper. It was wild. It was wild for me, but I wasn't scared. Like, but that was the devil that had my mind. Like, this is okay. This is how you supposed to live right now. And then if you look at me now, and then you walk in, or you meet me at the local store, or if you meet me and I'm introducing my business to you, you're not gonna assume that unless you see my tattoos. But then still, maybe even then, if you not a gang member, you won't know what my tattoos mean.
Right.
You know, so it's like, that is my main goal and my main purpose of everything. I was at a place where I was so lost and I was so scared. And I was just like, I guess I have to be content with this. I'm a felon and I have strikes. What can I do? Who's going to hire me? I might as well continue to sell dope and be a stripper because working at McDonald's is not going to give me what I want.
No. McDonald's won't pay your rent in 2017. No, not unless you're working three shifts.
And then if I'm working that, then when can I raise my baby? You know, when can I have time to be a mom, to be a wife? How can I do any of these things if I'm working 3 jobs? And then school, you might as well just write that right off the board. Where?
Yeah, how, who, where. I hear you. How, who, where. And that, you know what? That's a daily question for us as a people. How, who, where.
That's right.
You know, and we have these challenges, and the worst challenge is the division among ourselves.
That's right.
Okay, and that's by design. That's by design. We have is the break? Okay. All right. Dang. See, that's that flow going. So everybody be quiet during break time so we don't forget where we were when we come back. God bless you, community family. Welcome back to Gang Talk. As you can see during our extended break, we have a new guest that just joined us, and so we're going to give her a chance to introduce herself before we go on. That's you.
Hey, I'm Auntie Dee Dee. I'm known as Auntie Dee Dee, Sauntii Dee Dee.
Okay, Auntie Dee Dee. Welcome to Gang Talk, and I'm so distracted I forgot where we were at break, but we've really been having a very important conversation about the sisterhood and what we need to do to fix what's broken among our women for the sake of our children and the men that we love so dearly. So that was the gist of what we were discussing before your arrival. But we had a phone call. That's what it was. We have a phone call, and I believe it's for one of our ladies here. Caller.
Hello, this is Bossy.
Hey, Bossy.
Hey, Bossy.
Yeah, y'all lucky I got a show there on Tuesdays, and I love Mr. Morris and the Poetess. I would have hung up on y'all. Y'all ain't talking about nothing. No, I'm just playing. I want to commend and salute all y'all, right quick.
Thank you.
I've been watching y'all shows before I came to the Morris Media and the Gang Talk. Salute to Terrence. I see you and their brother and your wife.
Thank you.
That's your wife right there, right?
Right.
Yeah, I can't look at y'all now. I'm on the phone, but just right quick, because y'all know I call and talk the rest of the stuff, and y'all ain't going to be able to finish the show. But I want to commend you guys. You know, y'all sent a mouthful, and like the queen, the host said, it's all about design. So I'm not about to call in and preach out of that because y'all already said a mouthful. So the key thing is what we're doing. You guys and what we're doing, and I do, besides clowning and having fun, is we're using our voices. We're being bold. Right. We're not scared. And we're the Bob Marleys and all of the other revolutionary people and the Parks and the Harriet Tubmans who got out here and put their necks on the line just to wake somebody up. We can't save the world. We can't be nobody Christ, but we can wake somebody up by speaking and enlightening somebody's brain to make them think. You know what I'm saying? That's all we can do is help water seeds. So y'all just keep watering the seeds, you know, and just keep being a blessing because whether we know it or not, I always say, people also, a bunch of people that ain't listening, it just seems like they just not woke. And I get people always tell me, don't say that. Say it is a lot of people listening. Yes. So y'all keep doing what y'all doing. And like they say in church, you know what I'm saying? Like they tell a preacher, keep spreading the word, keep preaching the word, which is truth, freedom, and all of that y'all talking about, like that Stevie Wonder song said. And we're going to be able to touch people. Yes. It's by design. That's what makes it so hard for us. Yes. Right? But people like us, we're not scared. We're not scared if we get hung next on a tree or whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So keep speaking the truth. That's all y'all got to keep doing. Y'all going to stay blessed. Salute to Nakia Brown You know, that's
Thanks,
why I
Mom.
really called in. Rebuild Your Laugh. She done blessed Screaming Bossy and Global Streetway with certificates from the city of Los Angeles. So, you know what I'm saying? More power to all y'all. Keep doing what y'all doing. Stay encouraged. Stay motivated. Don't let nobody get y'all off what y'all doing, because y'all are doing what God put y'all here to do. So God bless all y'all. Stay standing up, man. And I'm off this phone. I'm about to get off the phone with y'all. And guess what? Go back and finish listening and let y'all water me.
Oh, bless your heart. And thank you so much for the words of
God bless
encouragement.
all y'all.
Thank you.
Because that's really what it's about. We're here to share our truth as we know it. This is nobody else's truth but our own.
Right.
Okay, and it has to be that way because by design, we've let others identify us.
Right.
Okay,
There we
and
go.
now it's about the black man's image.
Right.
Okay, and he's always the number one criminal for this country. And it's up to us to say enough of that.
Right.
You're not going to label my man, my son, my brother, the criminal for this country. You're just not going to be able to do that anymore. So I'm grateful to this new millennial generation. They get it. They are not going to be victimized. The only thing is they're angry with us because we didn't bring them to the bridge. We not only didn't bring them to the bridge, we didn't tell them about the bridge. We didn't tell them how to get on the bridge, much less cross it. But that's what we're here to do now, is to connect the missing dots.
Right, and Mr. Ron, before we elaborate
Go ahead.
on the point that we had just left on, I'm thankful that we have different women that walk different backgrounds, but all experience the same difficulties within themselves. And with that, I would like Auntie Dee to give us a brief detail of how it was for you growing up and what brought you to the point where you at now. And then we'll catch right back up.
You speak of the black man.
Mm-hmm.
I had 6 boys. I said had. I have 4 boys living. I was very, very young growing up. Started off very early. It was rough. I don't want to get into my mom, but because of it, I had to do what I had to do. All my skills came from survival. Growing up in the jungles, Baldwin Hills area, straight to the east side. In the midst of all my turmoil and havocs and everything I had to go through, a lot of hang-ups. Right. You know, my mom was a single parent. It was scary because I had boys. That I want someone to protect me for my own self-security reasons, not thinking, okay, well, they'll be growing up in a straight hood, in the naked city of, you know, where all the haps is happening at and the things that's going on, the gangs, all the interventions of, you know, chaotic and confusion, because it's very confused. I'm on this side of the street, but then I'm going to have to eventually go on the other side of the street. So, you know, then at the same time, they're going to have to go to school. I did a lot of drugs and alcohol. My choice. But because of my choice, I needed to get out of my head based on everything I was going through. You know, that survival, you know, to stay alert. That survival is to get me out of the zone of the reality of where I'm at. You know, I gotta beat these streets. These streets is whooping me.
The streets are killing you.
It's killing me.
Killing you, stealing your soul, and not giving you anything
dignity.
back but grief.
Right.
Okay? And that's a nightmare we all share.
Right.
That's a nightmare we have in common.
Right, there
That's
we
a
go.
fellowship right there.
Yeah.
We all have been subjected to a nightmare that's hurt us deeply.
Yeah.
And here you have sons you had to worry about from birth.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And I say very candidly to our dads,
Yes.
never forget how important you are. Please stop having them discredit your input, your involvement with your children, because you have to understand, dads, you're the ones that keep the girls off the pole. Okay? And if you're not going to be a little piece of dad, she's going to look for your love in all the wrong places.
That's right.
Okay? And we have to accept that as a reality. That girl on the pole is looking for you. And she don't care. The girl that's selling her body on the street, she's looking for you. She's looking for somebody. Right. And so that's a dysfunction that we have worked from slavery to try to do better for ourselves. Until this virus happened. It just flipped our whole script. Right. Stole everything, all the gains that we had, stole our fellowship from us, stole our safety and our security for our children. Right. Really. Really. So this is a show about our truth. Right. It ain't everybody's truth, but it sure is ours, and I'll be darned if we're not going to tell it. Right. That's right. I'm done.
I'm going to keep it real, and you speak, whatever it may be, whether it's be to the poles, the street corners, I used to tell them, look here, you want one of them or you want this? My main objective is, hopefully somebody has some substance in their hands so I can smoke. I didn't know how to just do certain things, for money, because my thing wasn't for the money. My thing was to get the high. Yeah. Wow. I needed to get the high. Well, I didn't know how to wear the stilettos, to wear the heels, I was straight rugged.
Can I ask it this way? Weren't you really just trying to anesthetize yourself?
Of course.
That's really the background behind the alcoholism, the smoking, the getting high,
everything,
the food,
suppress everything that I'm going through.
Yes, there it is.
I had problems, but the problem was before the main situation occurred, me being out there. You know what I mean? Robbing, stealing, doing whatever is necessary. Wow. I did a book, and it's called Keeping It Real, and it tells the story how my ears got the way they are now. People don't notice until they look at it, but I know it. And it's a scar that would need cosmetic surgery to go away. Me doing a lot of jacking. Yeah. Get you before you get me. And someone has finally gotten me. Okay. And,
that's fair.
But how I came up out of that rut. See, I'm in solution. I could talk about a whole lot of what it was like. Right. I'm in solution, and I had to be tired.
Yes.
Of being sick of tired. Yes. As a woman, you cannot raise a boy to be a man.
Right.
And I was the one to keep my kids away from the father because of the type of guy he is. But I've got to remember the type of man I chose.
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's a part of it. Look.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, you talking about a woman on a pole, but remember where you met that man when you was on that pole. Right. You know what I mean? Remember where you met that man when you was on the east side in the hood or wherever that hood is at. You know what I mean? Now, things can change. It could shift for the better or the worse. Right. That's right. It could even progress or degress.
That's right. You're the living evidence that change is possible.
Yes,
you have to embrace that. All the things that you've been through, and now here you are in your right mind. You see things very clearly that you didn't see probably when you had your first child. Right. But having those children pushed you into waking up from something you knew was not good. It wasn't, whatever it was, it really wasn't working for you.
And it wasn't the kids, to keep it really real.
Okay.
My 4 kids, my 2 oldest I got caught up in a system. Mm-hmm. And this was my testimony today. Pay attention to your kids. Right. That you have kids. Mm-hmm. God bless the child that has his own. But first thing first, be aware of who you are. And know where you're going. We know where we been, know where you're going. So with that being said, my 2 oldest kids got guardianship to my mom. Mm-hmm. My 2 younger kids got adopted. Mm-hmm. When I got clean and sober, that I'm 13 years clean today, 4/26/04, it wasn't because of the kids.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand.
I made a sacrifice
in
generally, if it's for the kids. Do it for the kids, but when the system give you your kids, listen to the system, ladies. Listen to the people that's trying to help you. That's right. Allow them to come into your home. Don't be, I don't want them in my business. You put them in your business.
Right.
When you went to Monterey Park or whatever that case is.
The truth is, we really haven't had a chance as a people, your generation, to come into this knowing who you were. It's kind of like a trial and error. You have to go
No,
out
they
there
know
like
too
you
much.
did. And they do. Your kids know a whole lot more than you did. They know a whole lot
Yeah.
more than you do
Yeah.
did. And I'm going to give it a pass because so many of us have been traumatized by this nightmare.
Right.
And it's not fair to single one person out and say, she didn't know what she was looking for. None of us knew what we were looking for. None of us.
Right.
And so it's not, a lot of times for mothers, that baby is the eye opener.
That's
It's like, oh my God, I've got this another life. What am I going to do for it? And that's always a question in a mother's mind, whether we're in the right mind when we give birth to them. Eventually, we're going to get to that question. Oh my God.
Right.
Oh my God. See, so these are our kids. It doesn't matter how they got here.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It only matters how we treat them
That's
once they
right.
are here.
And these
So-
are our kids, and it takes a village to raise our children.
Well, the point is, we trying to be the village that our kids deserve.
Right.
And that's the message here.
Right.
And that's the beautiful thing about it, because each of them have been through some. It eliminates any room for any excuses right now to
Right.
anybody in the audience
Right.
that's listening that may be saying, I can't do this because I went through this. Well, you got some sisters here that been through a whole lot.
whole
They
lot.
made a change, and not only are they doing something in life to better the quality of their own life, they're out here contributing back to society.
There it
They're
is.
demonstrating. They're not just talking about it.
Yes.
They're actually putting in the footwork and making moves to make life better, not only for themselves, but for their community and society as a whole.
Yes. Doing that real work.
Right.
And you know how important your backstory is.
Right.
There's a lady out here right now that needs to hear that. Needs to hear from
Yes.
you. So
Yes.
she can feel better about her circumstances. Like, oh, I'm not such strange fruit after all.
right.
Somebody
That's
else
right.
has been.
Through what I went through.
What?
I felt like I had to make a decision within myself to love myself wholeheartedly.
Right.
A lot of my friends would have dudes around their daughters. And I said, brother, you ain't coming to my house. You want to take me on a date? We're going on a date away from here, and you don't even need to know where I live at. Matter of fact, I'll meet you at the restaurant. Because and then one of my friends told me, I guess she was trying to impose the way she lived on me. She said, your children control your life. I said, my children controlled my life when I decided to lay down and have them. And I went through my divorce. You know your situation. A lot of women like to play dumb. I knew my husband was cheating. I tried to lie to myself. Oh,
Well,
no,
we ain't gonna
he's
talk
not
about the cheating man.
Well, yeah, we'll save the cheating man for a June show,
But
okay?
I was in denial within myself, and I said, you know what, I got to wake up. You know, God forced me. I'm out there hanging with the celebrities and living a celebrity life, and oh, yeah, I got a baby by somebody that rapped with such and such. And I'm like, this man ain't never seen my daughter a day in his life. My 2-year-old has to question, because she's very intellectual, and she articulates, they know, Julia, she articulates her words very well. She says, Mommy, when is my daddy going to, she's 2, when is my daddy going to come say hi to me? And I said, Julie, you know what, just keep praying and he'll be around. And then she would tell my sister, because she's imagining this in her head. She said, I love my daddy. My daddy nice. So she's playing a mind game within herself, you know.
Daughters
saying,
do that.
Right.
Daughters, we love our dads.
And
It just comes with the
oldest
birth.
2 going
Mom's
to their
okay,
daddies.
but dad's
You know,
it.
so that bothers her growing
Yeah.
up as a child, never
Yes.
seen your father
Yes.
because of me trying to lay down with a man and fill that void of love. When it was me loving
there you
myself,
go.
I got pregnant. I said, well, I don't believe in abortions. I done already laid down with the man. Now I get pregnant, want to get rid of the baby as a cover up. No, I'm forced to face reality. And I thank God for that, because that's where Rebuild Your Life started from. Going through the divorce. And I'm going to put myself on blast for a quick second. Usually in a situation where you go through a divorce, the man has the baby with the side chick. I was the wife that was pregnant, and my husband still was living with me. I said, oh, my God, me and his girlfriend was pregnant at the same time.
You know, that's not the first time I've heard that
said-
story. I got
But
a
it
friend
was
right now. His
it's
2
not
daughters.
reality until it really hits
His 2
home.
daughters are a month
I
apart.
said, oh, my God.
His
I
2
don't
daughters are a month apart.
Right.
So it's
But no,
not
these are
new
different
news.
Daddies. These are different daddies. So it was me in the midst of the situation, not the father being labeled as a cheater. I was the woman that didn't hang in there because I didn't want to be a statistic. Oh, my dad had 5 kids on my mom, 5 children on my mom, so I'm going to sit in there and hang in there. No, I ain't lying to myself. I'm leaving, and I'm getting out of it.
All right. But in fairness to the black family, we haven't gotten that right since slavery. And really, when we was trying to get it right,
That's right.
in the 60s, when we actually had fellowship and unity in our village, that's where the civil rights came from, that struggle. It was a village-motivated agenda. So we locked arms with each other and marched together for our own sake. In the interim, when that virus hit, we not only lost the weakened family, because I always attribute welfare to the beginning absence of the black man in the home.
That's right.
Welfare. We'll give your mom the check, feed your kids, but you got to disappear, vaporize, go somewhere else. And the cruel trick was that it was segregation. He's already locked out of employment because of his color. So how's he going to take care of his children? You see, and that was the secret of that generation, men that had job skills.
That's right.
And we're coming back to that.
That's right.
Knowledge.
Overqualified.
It's not about a job. It's about what skill do you have that people are willing to pay you to do.
That's right.
That's a whole big different thing. You see, you ain't got to wait for McDonald's. You can go take your tool belt out there and build a house and get paid. And that's really where we're moving back into.
Well, it was a lot of hindering back in those days, and there were things, you had to really earn to get commodities, the welfare line with the cheese, the beans and the little things that you qualify for, but then you got to hide the iron, you got to hide
your man's clothes,
hide the this, the that, and everything else.
He wasn't allowed to be a part of the family.
Because
that was a dirty
they would
trick.
tax you for each little bit thing.
Yes.
And if you get a gift, you got to prove it is
Oh
a
my
gift.
God, yes.
Oh my God, but now it's like 3 or more kids, then there's more food stamps than cash aid, and then they call it Cal Works now instead of AFDC, and then with GR, that you literally got to look for a job and
It's a whole lot. See, because look, it all changed.
But then they're going to raise the price of minimum wage, $15.
They're not, and that's a disgrace of this
your
country.
Hourly hours.
That's a disgrace of this country. That's a disgrace of this country. See, and we have to get out of the mindset of I need a job and I'm willing to take minimum wage. You just turning yourself into corporate slave. 2017. That's a big trick and joke. Okay, and we're not going to be deceived anymore because our sons, our daughters need to have the truth so they can prepare themselves for the future that they want.
That's right.
Okay, I got a future I want for my children, but until they're in agreement with me, it's up to them to make that decision. Right. So as much as I'd like to take them by the hand and lead them to their future, it doesn't work that way. Right. You see, and the biggest message to our young people now is prepare yourself.
That's right.
Be prepared. You want to work real, get a trade, girl.
How?
This is what the men of my community did in my youth. They
want
all
you to
had
answer
a
how.
job skill. They had a job skill. My dad was a math genius. He worked with electricians. He had a skill that made them pay him. I don't want to tell you what his job skill was because that's what the men of his generation did. Mechanics, plumbers, electricians, whatever they had to do. You see, because you can pay that plumber. When your toilet don't work, you can call him. Okay, and the best thing was calling the brother.
Right. Okay. And you was about to answer, too, about how, because you came from.
With Dylan, as of now, everything that I do for my business, when he's not at school and he has free time, I make him go with me.
Yes.
When I go get my shirts made or anything that I do.
Yes.
It sounds strange as we walk past people, they're wondering what he's saying, but he's saying like, oh, Mom, when we're leaving out the house, Mom, we about to go take care of some business. We about to go handle some business.
Like,
what is he even talking about? And then he goes with me. He even, when I was going to my shop and my wife helped me and a couple of members, her family member helped me when I was getting it all together. He came. Yeah, Dylan, you have to come here. Help paint, help do different things. So then it's already, in, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
in you
I do.
already that this is what my mom is doing. And she's a business owner.
Yes.
She's trying to go after this. She's trying to go after that.
Yes.
I could reach certain goals and certain heights, and I don't have to be out here looking for, you know what I'm saying, different little end jobs. My son is very different from me. And by what I mean different is I'm from the hood. I'm 40 crippin'. And my son is very like, Mom.
Intellectual.
That's right.
Can I watch Minions? And then
Right.
everybody's like,
I like my baby.
what is this? What you're too. He has to be. I need him to be.
That's right.
Yes.
I
That's
need
right.
him to be
You're
for
preparing
him.
him for his
Changing that
That's
future.
right.
Oh
Can
my
I say
God,
something
we
that's
got
on my
3
heart
minutes
then?
left. Go
We
ahead,
can-
please.
Take
And
about
I'll ask, can
30
I,
to 60
I ask
seconds.
why, and maybe we'll get back to it. Based on my experience, when I got clean and sober, I was 2 years clean by the time I made a decision to go to school from no education,
Yeah.
That's right.
from 3rd grade to college. So I want to know why, how?
How?
And so that's
You know what I mean? Like, think about that. From not knowing nothing to finally make a decision to want to do something.
And that's what I witnessed
hardest
teaching.
part. It was that I was
I do.
tired of going to jail. I think.
Yes.
Come on.
I think that was the hardest part, and I was feeling like a failure.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes.
dang, and I'm like, you looking on TV and you seeing all these, and not that they're your role models, but basically they are. You see them in all type of cars and this and this and this, and I'm like, okay, I'm hitting licks, I'm selling dope. But I keep going to jail and I keep getting caught.
Why they ain't
Okay,
going to
One thing I got
Lord.
before we end this, because each of them talked about some accomplishments they went through and what they've been through.
yes.
And just like I'm grateful that you sisters are sticking together and trying
Yes.
to work together to make it better. And just like you brothers out there or sisters out there that were supporting them when they was out there, maybe on the streets prostituting, on the poles and whatever, support them now in what they doing with their businesses. I'll challenge them to that.
Touch that.
Anybody.
I've got-
you got sisters out here that are doing something.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
behind them. You got behind them in other ways. Get behind them in the real way.
Okay.
Hello.
I want to add 2 things in here. 2 things. You overcame because that's what black folks do.
Right.
We are overcomers, and we overcome the obstacles. That's what makes us a success. When they tell us you can't, and we turn that can't in, oh no, that's a green light. Somebody tell me no, that's a green light that says oh yes. You see, so that's in the spirit of us. It's our natural spirit, and so that's why your stories are coming the way they are, because
Good
it's in
stories,
your
yeah.
makeup. It's in your DNA.
Right.
Okay, and that's the beauty about it. The
Yes.
other thing I want to do is encourage black businesses, because we are having black businesses. And Skipp mentioned last week that we need to start having cash mobs.
Okay.
Go throw cash. Just have that meet up at that business. Bring all the cash you have. Spend it with that business. Keep their doors open.
Help
You
Yes.
see, so these are the kind of practices that are going to help teach your son,
Right.
teach your children that they can be independent.
Right.
They don't need to work for McDonald's. That
Right.
there's a way for them to become independent. So
Thank you.
I just wanted to add that in there because
Appreciate
it's such
you.
a blessing to have these women come tell us the honest truth.
Yes.
Honest truth.
Yes.
Help your child start a business. That's what I did.
Yeah.
All 3 of my daughters have their own business.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that's my advice.
All
Help
3
them
of your
create their
daughters.
Yes, clothing designers, models, actress.
Yeah.
And the other one, she's a mentee and bossy. The one called earlier, she's baby bossy.
Okay.
Boss. Yeah.
Well, that's excellent news. That's excellent news. I hear background music. Yeah, Maurice White is singing to us. If Skipp was here, he'd be singing "Keep Your Head
What
to
y'all
the Sky."
listening to?
So God bless you. God bless you, ladies. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I'm glad you
Thank
got
you.
here.
Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you, Terrence.
Thank you for
Appreciate you. I
having
love
me.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
community, family, and gang talk. Will be back next week.